In one of our recent Padel School events, we had lots of players between the level of 3 and 4, so intermediate, and in their matches, one of the biggest struggles they had was how to finish points. Now, at the Padel School, we work with thousands of players during the year to help them improve their game, both in person and online, and this is a common theme that we're having, that when you get to a level of about 3 to 3.5, your opponents start getting a little bit better. They start being able to defend slightly better, so those balls that you just smacked into the glass or you just pushed a ball into the corner are now suddenly not winning you points. In this video, we're going to give you 3 steps in order to finish points that you can implement in your games to win more matches. So thinking of those pairs, they were super frustrated because they lost the match that they should have won, their words, not mine, that they knew they hit better balls, they hit faster, and the players had awkward technique. The opponents had awkward techniques, they were just pushing the ball back. And I watched the match and they came off after and said we just couldn't finish the point. We were hitting our shots into the corner, but they just got everything back. And so you reach that level where you now suddenly need to understand how to construct a point in order to win it. And these 3 steps are going to help you do that. So step number 1, you are in this exciting time now where you suddenly need to set points up. It's no longer good enough that an overpowering smash or a wallop you give from the back of the court is going to win you the points. You need to set points up. So you get into a position and you hit a ball to create space on the court so that you can finish. Yeah, and understanding your objective. So your objective from the back of the court, your only objective is to get to net, and when you get to net, your objective is to finish the point, but you need to set the ball up first, or set the point up first. And this might be a short low volley down the middle, for example, to create space, or you might want to hit a softer bandeja in the corner, whatever that is, but it is a setup shot that you need, not just a finisher. Step number 2 is understanding this concept of what happens next. So you hit your setup, you now have to think, what is the likely response of my opponent? And players are not doing it. This is anticipation. They are watching the ball, they're ball watchers, or they're watching the opponent, they're getting sucked into the rally, but they're not actually anticipating what shot will come next. And you need to think like that. So you hit your setup ball, and for example, if I was to hit a soft volley into the corner as my setup, I see that they're struggling, I know that there are 1 or 2 likely responses, and I prepare and move to attack those responses. In this case, I might close the net down because I know that it's going to be difficult for them to do a reply. But you've got to start asking yourself, what happens next? What is the response from my opponents once I've hit that setup? If you're really not sure about the setup shots or your technique or what you should be doing tactically within a point, that's exactly where our members send in videos of their games. Myself and the other coaches help them break it down, say, oh, you should have played the ball here, or play here, or look for this type of response, so they can start comprehending the game in a good way. On the padelschool.com, in our membership site, you'll be able to access all of that information that myself and the coaches will give you, as well as all the tutorials that go along with it. Step number 3 is hit to a difficult place for your opponent to defend based off your previous shot. Now, this might sound really obvious, but if you've just hit a short ball, for example, and your opponents have come in and you get a lob and you hit an aggressive smash, it doesn't work because they are already halfway up the court. It's based off your previous shot. Or if you hit a setup ball into the corner and then you try and attack the ball into that same corner, then they're already there. So it's important that you think about, obviously, where is the next shot? Where's it going to come? But then where can I now play to make it difficult for the opponents? And I'll give you a few examples of this. It might be you hit a low setup volley down the middle of the court, forcing an opponent to come across and to cover it, and they've got their backs against the glass and they hit up a short ball, and you might say, I'm going to play a fast, powerful volley or smash that bounces fast off the glass and shoots forward, because the gap is actually where they have left it based off that previous shot. Or for example, if you might hit a ball as a setup, as a bandeja into the corner, and they go close to the corner, you've now created a space in the middle and you could play that same ball fast down the middle. Or if you've brought them into a no man's land position, or you're playing against tennis players and they come up the court, your way to finish might be soft with slice down the middle so it goes in behind them. But the third step is understanding where they cannot reach as a defender and hitting to that space. The beauty of this three-step process is that you don't need to think of a new one each time within the game. Like every game in your match or your set, you don't need to come up with new ideas. Once you find something that works well against your opponents, you can then repeat that until they maybe adapt or get used to it themselves. So if we break this down again, we've got step one is hit a setup ball. Understand that you need a setup. Step number two is what happens next? What are you expecting? Try and predict where the ball will go from that shot, and in that meantime you close that gap. And then step number three is play that next ball into the space. Don't think about trying to hit a winner past them or try and hit hard. Just go for where they have made the space on the court, and that way you are going to win the point without taking a huge risk. Now this is a great thing that you can do with your partner, so discuss it with your partner. Down here I'm going to put a video on tactics and how you can develop tactics as a pair. Up here I put a link to thepadelschool.com, and you can send in your videos, you can check out our tutorials, and that way we will help you become a better player.